It is a signal to the world. We are open for business.
We are now open for business. This is 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 bringing you yet another episode to guide you in discovering your passion and growing your business as we learn from experts in the field. Sama-sama tayong matuto sa isa na namang makabuluhang usapan tungo sa pagpapaunlad ng inyong negosyo. Ang Open for Business ay mapapanood nyo din sa Facebook at YouTube. Siguraduhin mag-like at mag-subscribe sa aming social media page at Net25TV. Alamin natin, suriin mula sa mga negosyante, thought leaders at mga personalidad sa iba't ibang larangan ang mga strategies, trends at mahalagang karanasan sa pagninegosyo dahil tayo ay open for business. Discover the men and women who have made significant strides in leading their enterprises as they get recognized here at the Business Manual CEO Awards. Be inspired by their leadership journey amidst challenges. Learn how they emerge as disruptors in their industries and make the impact they make. Stay tuned as we bring you the event's highlights shortly here at Open for Business.
I'm 𝗗𝗶𝗴𝗏𝗏𝗏 bringing you business news and information here on Open for Business. Japanese manufacturing firms eye business in the Philippines. Around 20 manufacturing companies from Okayama, Japan visited the Philippines looking for business opportunities in economic zones according to the Philippine Export Zone Authority, also known as PEZA. The Japanese trade mission visited the Cavite Export Processing Zone and met with Japanese locator companies to see how Japanese firms were doing there. Historically, Japanese companies in the economic zones are involved in the electronics, automotive, and industrial sectors. Currently, there are more than 800 Japanese manufacturing firms registered with PEZA, with investments worth 589 billion pesos, employing roughly around 300,000 Filipinos. FDI is higher by 4.4% in January to November 2024. The country's foreign direct investments, also known as FDI, rose by 4.4% to $8.58 billion during the first 11 months of 2024 versus the same period in 2023. Now, this is according to the preliminary data from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, also known as BSP. The FDI for January to November already consisted of over 95% of the BSP's projected $9 billion total FDI inflow for 2024. During the 11 months, investments in equity and fund shares rose by 16.4% to $2.6 billion year-on-year. PPP projects worth 2.47 trillion pesos in the pipeline. There are now 176 public-private partnerships, also known as PPP projects, in the pipeline worth 2.47 trillion pesos, data from the PPP Center showed. The number of projects slightly increased from 172, but the total cost declined to 2.55 trillion pesos. According to the PPP Center, the changes were attributed to the delisting and updating of some projects. From the list, a total of 15 were added, with 11 being local and 4 as national projects. Among the delisted projects was the new Bohol-Panglao International Airport project, as it's been moved to the under-implementation list. U.S. to impose 25% tariff on steel, aluminum imports. The United States is imposing a 25% tariff on all imported steel and aluminum in March, removing exemptions from allied countries and boosting domestic production. In an announcement made by the U.S. President, he also said that reciprocal tariffs will be rolled out to match the levies charged by other countries to the United States. The U.S. is the world's largest importer of steel, primarily sourced from Canada. Both Canada and the European Union voice that these tariffs will be challenged to protect their interests. And that's the Business Roundup for this week. I'm 𝗗𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 for Open for Business.
This portion is brought to you by Pure Gold. Sa Pure Gold, always mura, always kompleto, always may promo, always panalo.
Abangan niyo po kami tuwing Sabado at Linggo, 8 to 9 a.m. Dito lang yan sa Net25. Ito ang tahanan. Ako po si Ate Sherilyn.
It's that time of the year when we spotlight visionary leaders who dared tread the unknown path to bring changes to their companies and industries. It's an opportunity to learn from these disruptors as we speak to them in our in-depth interviews to celebrate their wins. Join us as we learn the stories behind their success and the significance of these awards in empowering the business community. A lot of people are saying that print and TV will be dead, but it's not dead. But this time, we just have to also embrace digital. What's your view on this tri-media, quad media, and of course, digitalization?
I think there's always a space for everything. In the publication group I work for, we have print publications. We've got Vogue, we have Lifestyle Asia, and they're print. But we also have our online, a combination of hybrid, which is print and online. Because, you know what, if you evaluate the industry, you'll always see that there's a space for everybody. What we want people to learn is that when you do business, you have to find your niche. In publication, you have to find your niche. Is it digital for the audience that you have? Is it print for the audience that you have? Or is it a combination of both? That's what's wonderful about being in this world of, online media and publication. You just have to find your niche.
What are your parameters in selecting who the disruptors will be? Because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of disruptors. There's a lot of disruptions in the industry. But in terms of your selection, how different is this crop?
For number one, we want to look for innovation in the industry. What have they done in the respective industries? Also, brand equity, how have they built their image? And, because they're also representing themselves, we want to make sure that they're also okay. And we also have contribution to society as part of the selection process. We had 6 judges from different groups, from 𝗗𝗏𝗃𝗁, from Women Biz, from International Council for Small Business, from Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. A lot of people trying to qualify. So, you know that these guys dumaan sa butas ng karayom para maging awarding ngayong gabi.
You're everywhere, RJ. If there is a queen of media, ikaw na siguro yung king of media. But what's next for the RJ Ledesma?
I think what's next is really to pay it forward, and more importantly, may saying sa English, a rising tide lifts all boats. If I found some success in entrepreneurship, we need to share that information with other people. So expect that I will be doing more media, relevant media, where we help elevate the level of entrepreneurship here in the country. And that's my next goal. Please make sure to subscribe to the Business Manual online. It's a really great source for you to get inspired by the country's top business leaders and entrepreneurs.
You are one of the very few awardees tonight and represent the food industry. And I think isa po ito sa mga malalaking industriya. Pero ang tanong ko, sir, paano ninyo na-disrupt yung industry? Why do you think we are celebrating your presence tonight po?
I think this is a teamwork between my siblings when we started together from nothing. And we work really hard to be what it is today.
Sir, you mentioned you worked it out, from nothing. Medyo ano po ito? Parang this is something very relevant because with the recent pandemic, a lot of people lost a lot of things, di ba po? Pero in your case po, from nothing, ano po yung mga sikreto na ginawa ninyo maliban sa teamwork para talagang mapursige itong business?
It's actually a vision, a strong will to succeed, and hard work.
With the food industry now, with the many brands that you carry, ano po yung mga kakaiba dito? Why are people buying it and why would people still patronize your products and services, sir?
Well, first of all, we use natural resources from the Philippines, and these are products that we export out of the country. And secondly, we produce a quality product, a very consistent product, and affordable to everybody.
it has something to do with sustainability also. Kasi di ba parang you're somehow helping our countrymen, di ba? Because you somehow utilize the raw materials from the Philippines. Ano po bang mga probinsya, like say in terms of raw materials, in terms of exports, where do you source this and where do we export these products, sir?
We source the raw material. This is mango, as far as from Ilocos Norte down to the southern tip of the Philippines, which is General Santos. And we export to more than 50 countries worldwide. 40% coming from the northern part of the Philippines, another 40% coming from the southern part of the Philippines, and 20% coming from the central part of the Philippines.
Sabi nga nila, sir, kakaiba ang Philippine mangoes. When we go to Japan, to the US, we hear these things that, our Philippine mangoes are one of the best. What makes it, really different from the other mangoes in the world?
I think it's because the type of climate we have, it creates a type of mango that is sweet and tangy taste that makes the difference.
How do you survive this diversity then? How do you somehow manage to really triumph, with these adversities?
This is the reason why we have to spread out. This is the reason why I have to have people to get mango from the northern tip of the Philippines to the southern tip. And we have factories in the north, central, and southern part of the Philippines also. With this strategic location, we survived all the typhoon that we are having.
What do you think would be the needs of other companies like yours to make sure that 2025 will really a big year for business?
Well, we have to be creative now due to the competition, and we have to look for new opportunities that will overcome all these problems that we are currently having, especially in the agriculture.
Do you think, these challenges in the area of agriculture will be solved? And if there is one or two suggestions that that the private sector like you can inform the government, what are these challenges that needs to be resolved so that your businesses will continue to flourish, sir?
I would say the government should remove the agrarian reform so that there will be corporate investor. With corporate investor, there will be corporate R&D. Then we'll be successful in agriculture. Because with agrarian reform, you don't see any corporate investor right now.
Ms. Rosemary, I know that you are given a lot of accolades, a lot of awards, but how is this different from the other awards that you have received?
This is really a prestigious award, and for me to be able to receive something like this is really inspiring me to do better in the industry where I am at. This is really something that will basically raise the level of whoever the awardees are, because expectations are there and deliverables of each and every awardee is there to be better in whatever industry they are in.
Your industry, airspeed, is one of the most competitive industries, di ba? Maraming nadadala sa branding dyan, di ba? Like, so how were you able to disrupt the industry with so many competitors?
It is so important to differentiate yourself. Kasi as you said, masyadong competitive, ang daming pare-pareho ang ginagawa. But how do we differentiate ourselves? We are more on relational than transactional. We really look at how our customers are doing their business, and we would like to be able to be partnering with them so that when they grow their business, we also grow ours. It is important also to be agile and be able to adapt to whatever the situation is. During COVID, we were able to fly charters when there was really a lockdown. Kasi lakasan lang talaga ng loob eh. 'Di ba? Kailangan lakasan mo yung loob that you can do it because what you're doing is service to the customers who will be needing our services. Lakasan ng loob at walang dapat bibigay. Laban lang.
Wow, that's very courageous, ma'am, lakasan ng loob. Pero Alam naman natin, ma'am, na di ba nagbabago na rin yung gusto ng mga tao? Like in terms of your area, your logistics, dati hindi naman ganun ka-demanding yung mga consumers. But in your case, parang gaano kalakas dapat ang loob mo na ang mga consumers ngayon discerning din and they're demanding.
Totoo yung sinabi mo. That's the reason why we have to know our core competencies. Dapat alam namin kung saan kami magaling, saan ang aming strength. And that's what we enhance. Our strength really is in the international forwarding, in the warehousing, in the e-fulfillment. That's our strength. We also do last mile delivery, but I know that I cannot compete with the other companies who have been there for the longest time or are new players but are backed up financially. What I do, I really believe in scalability and sustainability. So our business has to really be sustainable. I cannot lose money. I have to make sure that I don't lose money so that I will be able to serve our clients very well.
Wow, well said. With what's happening in the industry, di ba, some are closing down. You know, with 2025 naman, they look at it positively because they say, wow, 2025 is the banner year. In the area of logistics, in your industry where you belong, ano ba yung nakikita ninyo? What's your outlook for 2025?
I'm very positive about our economic outlook. Our government is really very active in really soliciting investments coming in. The embassies are also very active in that because we need economic trade among and between the different countries we have. We cannot limit ourselves into national lang, but we have to go global. I always say that we really have to learn how to do global. We have to be competitive globally. I don't want to look at it as Philippines alone because lumiliit na ang mundo natin. When you do digital, when you have a website, not only Philippines can see it, the world can see it. So opportunities are always there. But it is up to us to really seize the opportunities that are good for us.
Parang very conscious ang mga tao sa branding. Eh di ba parang sa industry ninyo, minsan tinitingnan yun, kailangan gamitin ko si ganitong brand kasi siya ang kilala. In your case, how do you compete in terms of marketing and branding?
Our industry kasi, service eh. So the best is really word of mouth and really presence in areas or sectors where we have our customers. We started as B2B. So hindi namin kailangan talaga ng tindahan or whatever. But then again, now we're going to B2B2C. And that's when we need the marketing. We need to work on different types of channels because right now, omni-channels na tayo. We have digital marketing, we have traditional marketing. So those are the areas that we're looking at wherein we can also be present in the industries where we want to be known.
You received a lot of awards already in the past, but ano po ang pagkakaiba ng award na ito sa inyo? What makes this different?
The latest one is always the best, especially itong business manual.
We follow you on social media and you are investing on technology, you are upgrading your plants, you make sure that you maintain quality. So, yun po ba talaga ang thrust ng inyong pamilya? And is that really the focus to make sure that you continue to provide the high quality to Filipino consumers, sir?
Very good insights. But you know, when you are a late starter coming in with sardines business or any business at that, you have to have that competitive edge or you have to do something different so that you'll be recognized. If you're just doing the same as the others, wag na. But for us, Mega, we try to do better. Challenging ourselves, is that the best that we could do? We always scale up. We always go up another scale. And it's true to say, it's really that innovations that's coming in that makes us different in terms of quality, in terms of preservations, in terms of processes.
Sir, I think that is exactly the reason why you are being honored tonight. Basically, they honor industry disruptors. So sabi nyo nga, sir, kapag ginagawa nyo pareho lang, ay hindi mapapansin yun ng merkado. Can you give us one examples of how you made your product different from the others po?
The way we catch our fish, traditional is braid the fish from the net, put them on deck, icing, put them on tops, and put them on storage. That method has been a tradition. But the problem with the preservation of fish on top, you cannot undone. So that's why you have to have the brine system. What do you mean brine system? You prepared your solutions, fish solutions, seawater at 0 degree before pumping the fish from the ocean to the tanks. What's the difference? When you're pumping the fish going to the tank, the fish upon dropping is still alive for 2 to 3 minutes. Later, after that, they would be frozen to death because of the 0 temperature. And that makes the preservation last longer, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks with the same 0 degree. The more you catch, the more problem you're having. But with the tank system, everything take care of itself because it's self-sustaining, it's circulating.
Sir, is that something pioneered by your company at pwede po ba yung ma-replicate naman sa industry?
It's available worldwide, but you just have to take a look at how you're doing it. For us, we bring that technology to the Philippines, hoping the Philippines would copy that so that all our sardines coming out would be the freshest. So that's why you need to think outside, what can you do? But it's more expensive because you have to have the technology, you have to have the infrastructure ready.
When we look at the latest developments now in the field of agriculture, parang sinasabi nila marami pang dapat ma-improve, di ba? Maraming challenges. I don't want to sound very political, sir, but in your view, how would you think your company or the private sector continue to help naman the government in making sure that the challenges in the field of agriculture will be addressed, sir, being one of the prime movers in this business?
It's all about sustainability. Sardines, we have our closed seasons, 3 months, where we let the fish replenish itself so that at least when seasons comes, there will be plenty of sardines still for processing. Another thing is size of net. Now, we don't catch the small size fish, so that's why the net is 1 inch, fingerlings goes through, so that at least we still have some fish left to grow. And also, new technology coming in, because if we don't do that, there will be a lot of waste coming out and sayang naman ang isda. Instead of masayang, kunin natin at there's no waste from sardines because head and tail is fish meal, the body is for canned sardines. We even have fish oil, and we are thinking about collagen for the scale coming out of the sardines.
You pass on the technology to future generation. You believe in what the Gen Zs and what the millennials think at this time. Is that also your strategy to make sure that Mega Prime will continue its legacy and tradition?
I'm almost 75. Productive years, maybe another 10 years. But do I have to wait 10 years to retire so that my children, my other directors, they could step up? It's all about mentoring. While we are here, we mentor them so that at least they can step up. And the only way that they can step up is let them make decisions so that at least, correct or not, you're there. Sad to say sometimes, some of the older generations, they do not like to let go because fearing that they are better than the others. Of course, we are always better than the others, but if you don't give chance to the younger generations to step up, they would never step up. If you don't empower your people to step up, they'll just be under your shadow, and which is, it's not going to be sustainable. And that's not good business practice for the company to grow, the company to sustain, and the company to endure long corporate life. So let's train the younger generations.
Wow, those are great insights from one of the honorees of tonight's honoring industry disruptors, and we hope, sir, that you can also visit us sometime at a studio, or we can also go to one of your plants so we can feature how you process your technologies.
Well, not only that, maybe we could visit the fishing ground on how the catching of the fish is being done before we send it back to Zamboanga for processing. That will be a whole process.
Open for Business. We'll be back. Stay with us.
"30 years married, how do you guys do it?"
Connecting heart to heart and eye to eye.
Paano pag lumabo ng mata?
𝗗𝗶 Executive Optical, expert eye care, state-of-the-art facilities, affordable eyewear.
Stop staring. Connecting with you, Dad. Love you. Love your eyes.
Bawat barangay na ating binibisita ay hinahatiran natin ng saya at mga palarong pampaganda ng umaga.
At ang mga kabarangay naman ay sinasalubong tayo ng iba't ibang kwento na makulay, makabuluhan,
Well done!
at siguradong kapupulutan ng aral.
Hindi ako napinag. Kaya ko yan. Ganyan magmahalan ang mga magkakabarangay. Kaya join na sa amin tuwing alas 7 ng umaga dito kung saan garantisado ang kasiyahan mo. Ang kabarangay nyo, LTE, Love,
Tony Pe!
and everything!
Love, Tony Pe, and everything. Together, sa Net 25.
Gonzalez bringing you exciting highlights from the floor to capture the winning moments from awardees and participants alike. Let's listen to what attendees find inspiring from the awardees of this event. What do you feel about this award? It's such a prestigious title. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm still speechless. Definitely, I'm so honored to be alongside all these giants, all these industry giants who are also being awarded tonight. And so, as the only medical doctor, I'm very honored to be here.
What inspired you to not just stay within the medical, you also emerged in the business world? What inspired you to do that?
Well, growing up, our family has always been business people. My parents are entrepreneurs as well. And so I guess I always had it in me, but my father wanted me to be a doctor. So I guess I was still able to merge medicine and business, and I'm so happy I'm able to do that because not a lot of doctors actually end up being entrepreneurs.
Wow, she really knows what she wants. She really went for it. I love that. That's so inspiring, also very empowering as a woman. Now, you started this, the Ivy group 15 years ago, so I'm sure you went through challenges. How did you overcome them? 15 years is a long time.
Well, yes, I agree. It's very challenging, especially since I studied to be a doctor, and to be a doctor, it takes like 14 or 15 years of studying. So it's all just really honing, studying to be a medical doctor, and also to be a dermatologist takes a lot of another like 4 or 5 years of specialty. And so it's always learning, it's always growing. And the challenge is, how do I divide my time between my practice and starting and growing our business? So I'm privileged to have a husband who's also a doctor, Dr. Z, who's also entrepreneurial. And I think it's the partnership that helped us overcome all the challenges. It's always good to have someone with you to share the challenges. And also, it's also about your passion, I feel. If you're passionate with what you do, you always try to overcome any difficulties. There will always be difficulties when you start a business, especially for myself. I did not inherit my business. I started from scratch. I started from a small clinic, and now we have a group of diverse businesses. And so there will definitely be challenges. But I think the most challenging is really the time of really making sure that you allot time for my patients, which is, of course, my first and foremost responsibility, and making time in growing the business and learning how to be a good entrepreneur. So I think that's the biggest challenge I had to face.
I picked up two main elements. One is choosing the right people. You said your husband really helped you emerge into the business as well. And also your time. Time management, I believe, is very important for this success. Any advice in terms of time management? Also for me, I need to learn more.
Yes, I feel that if you overthink and you overplan, you're gonna be very, how do you say it? You're gonna be overwhelmed. So I always say I just live it one day at a time. I just make sure that I maximize my day and try to squeeze in as much as I could, try to push myself. But at the same time, I'm also a mother and a wife. So I feel that having a work-life balance is important because you need to also recharge and to reboot yourself, because if not, you're gonna burn out. So the most important thing really is not get overwhelmed, take it one day at a time, and everything will have an answer or solution. It's just a matter of really not giving up and always just doing the best that you can and giving your 100%, or not even 100%, 110% of yourself.
I love that. We love a hard-working woman. Last question. You are a doctor, you're a mother, entrepreneur. You do so many things in life, you juggle it well, but you're still very fresh. Any beauty advice? Come on, like we're all stressed in this world. We gotta know, how do you stay fresh?
You know, really, my advice is a good sleep. If you sleep well every day, you're ready to face any challenges that you have for the day. So you're ready to conquer the world.
Well, this award particularly is really for the organization. It's for the company. I think I'm just really a spokesperson. I'm lucky and privileged to be the one to accept the honor, but actually this is really the hard work of all of the people in URC.
Please tell me, since we're talking about CEOs that disrupt the business world, how in your way did you disrupt the business industry? How did you become a game changer?
The first thing really is when I came on board more than 6.5 years ago. The focus really is how to develop the organization for generations to come. It's been such a fantastic and successful founder-led company. Very strong founder mentality, and we wanted to preserve all of that. But really the game-changing aspect of it is how to develop the next generation, the organization. And so that's been the focus of the work, particularly for me, is to have a strong leadership team, to look at the bench strength, and to really look at how we can institutionalize some of the things we've learned, some of my experiences from multinational corporations, how we preserve some of the founder mentality of the company, and then how do we really start to develop and empower the broader organization to carry on the legacy of the founders.
I find it also inspiring how you have a heart as well for the future generations. Can you please give advice for the people who want to follow your footsteps, especially to the Filipinos, younger Filipinos?
To the younger generation, I think it's all about focus when you're starting, to keep your heads down. I always tell people, do whatever you can with whatever you have, wherever you are. So you focus on the job at hand and opportunities will open up. So it's about a risk-taking attitude, assessing the landscape, and making good strategic judgments in all of that. That it starts with believing in yourself, even sometimes when you think that you can't believe in yourself, and there are people who can believe in you, and you find the right people who will believe in you and invest in your development.
It's an honor being here, just being nominated, and now finally winning an award here in the Business Manual. I have no words. Truly deeply honored.
You know, I'm so inspired, such a humble person with a big accomplishment in life already. Can you tell me any memories of how you started? Because people only see you here right now, but I believe that there are times where we've started from scratch. How did that work?
Yes. You want the 1-minute version or the 7-day version? Kidding aside, a lot of hard work. I started out with a third-hand dental chair and 3,000 pesos, and I was practically with a small set of dental instruments when I started, when I came back from the States back in 1998. It was very hard, with lots of hard work, perseverance, resiliency, of course, relentlessness, we were able to achieve everything. We never gave up. We worked 7 days a week for 9 years. I never had a break, but finally I can say that I can have a day's rest now.
That is definitely a reward for you, right? I would like to ask, now you didn't just tap on the dental aspect of it, but you've also incorporated technology there. Did you know that you have to be ahead of your game by tapping on technology? Or were you already passionate, or you had your hands in technology already?
When we first started, of course, you need money to invest in technology. So we had to work hard, do the basic dentistry to get the things we have right now. But of course, like I said, we continue to innovate and push ourselves and reinvent ourselves every now and then. Basically, it's all about hard work. And I would like to also give a message to the viewers. Remember, guys, if things are getting hard, hard work will make you lucky.
That is so inspiring, hard work and innovation. How do you motivate your employees and your staffs to keep a good service?
We do a lot of training and retraining. We choose the highest quality, eager, hungry, ambitious, and of course, God-fearing people.
We know that there's a lot of awards. This is not new to you already, especially with the bank. But how is this different from the other awards that you have already received, sir?
I don't really think it's for me. Every time I receive an award such as this, even if it's for the CEO, I remind myself that my bank has a leadership team. It's not led by a single person, it's led by at least 25 other people. And I share this award with the rest of my senior leadership team and the rest of the RCBC family.
Which is exactly my next question, sir. I know that, as you mentioned, there is always that kind of leadership team. Yan po ba yung secret ninyo? Is that your secret sauce? And one of the themes of this awards tonight is industry disruptors. So far, how did your leadership disrupt the industry?
What matters to me really is I look at the leadership team as a championship sports team. It's composed of various leaders who are very good at what they do. Each one is an expert in something. Each one is an authority in the industry on something. But working together, we create things that we've never figured out before. And those ideas are exactly the type of ideas that disrupt businesses, that result in new things that have never been tried before. So a diversified leadership team working together results in disruptive ideas that move the business forward.
We know that the banking industry, has been very competitive. Noon po, talagang hindi naman pinag-uusapan yung branding, yung competition, there's just a few. But now, we see that the banking industry, the services are almost the same. So far with RCBC po, what is your thrust in terms of staying competitive, and why would a lot of people go to RCBC to get their services there?
The answer is we provide the best customer experience that we can possibly provide. And we do our best to get better every month. There was a survey conducted by one of the dailies in the country. It was the first survey conducted by anyone on customer service for banks. RCBC ranked first in that survey. We celebrated, obviously, but it was a reminder to us that the kind of work that we put in to solve customer problems, getting to the root of any problems that we see, introducing new mobile apps, doing whatever we can to make the customer experience better every time. Winning that award gave us significant satisfaction and, more importantly, an affirmation that we were doing the right things. Now, looking forward, expect more new things to come from the bank, be it a digital experience from an app, or be it a delightful visit when you go to our branches. We're working on it. It never ends.
Okay, we look forward to visiting one of your banks, and customer behavior has changed. You know, sometimes they seldom go to the bank anymore. Parang they don't like to line up anymore. So what is your bank doing to ensure that there is complete digitalization and to, as you mentioned, you provide that customer experience with their experience now with digital?
Most banks have one app. We have 3 apps and one platform for small businesses in the provinces. So what we've done is look at what segments we want to serve and provide the best digital experience that we can give to each one of those segments. So we sort of specialized, not just have one single solution for everyone. We gave 4 solutions for different segments. That's just one example of what we're doing. And in each one of those segments, we compete with everybody else, but at the same time, we've decided that many best ideas can be obtained from our new friends in the fintech sector. I think at any time we are with dozens of fintech companies. Working with them, we're able to bring those fresh ideas and introduce better services or better products to our customer base. So it's competitive, but there's so much cooperation happening, not just within the bank, but also outside.
It's an honor to meet you. Congratulations with the award that you're receiving. What do you feel about it personally and professionally?
Personally, obviously it's an amazing recognition. It also underscores the amazing contribution of not just myself, but of the entire company and all the people that have been working so hard to get the company to where it is right now.
I'm sure you've mentioned, the people who worked for you and with you helped you get to this place. Now, I'm sure being a leader is one thing, but being an innovative leader is another thing. How did you become an innovative leader and a successful one?
Actually our company is celebrating its 60th year right now. So we've gone through such an amazing journey from being a privately held construction company to being a public real estate and construction company. We've gone through the peaks and valleys. We've gone through amazing transformations. And I think it's always crucial to always adapt and change with the times. And that's what's made us to where we are right now.
To be where you are right now, I'm sure a lot of people are inspired by your journey. Can you share the risks that you took that led you here right now?
I always tell the people that work for us that you are in whatever room you're in. 20 years ago, we were just a construction company. 10 years ago, we were just an office developer. 5 years ago, we were just an office and residential developer, and now we're developing a city. So I think it's always crucial to always look for the next stage of your transformation.
Big congratulations to all the winners. What a phenomenal evening to be with the company of the biggest shakers and movers of the business world. From what we gathered from the attendees, it's quite inspiring to emulate leaders who are always ahead of the game to disrupt and win in the business called life. This has been 𝗗𝗲𝗀𝗏 Gonzalez for Open for Business.
On February 3, 2025, Net25 warmly welcomed the esteemed guest, Israel's ambassador to the Philippines, His Excellency Ilan Flus. The envoy was in a series of visits and speaking engagements with various sectors and government agencies in the country. Diplomatic relations between the Philippines and Israel were established in 1957. The two nations have built a lasting partnership based on mutual respect, shared values, and common aspirations. 3 years ago, the Israel Ministry of Tourism graciously hosted Net25 in the beautiful cities of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, as well as in other remarkable tourist destinations there. Open for Business delivered episodes highlighting Israel's rich history and vibrant tourism sector. Now, in this particular visit at Net25, Ambassador Flu spoke about the ongoing collaboration between the Philippines and Israel in the agricultural sector, citing programs with agencies like TESDA and the Department of Agriculture.
Israel wants to expand the collaboration with the Philippines in the agricultural sector. Actually, this is a direct request of President Marcos when he entered into office. In our few meetings we had, he always asked me, Ambassador Ilan, please, I'm aware of the Israeli expertise and technologies in agricultural sector, and top of my agenda, agricultural productivity and food security. What we are trying to do is, from one side, bringing more of Israeli private sector to introduce Israeli technologies which are very relevant for the challenges in the Philippines. And the other hand is really enhancing and improving our partnership in training in agriculture. And here we have two ways of collaboration that we are doing today. The first one, which has very big numbers, is a program in agricultural, what we call the agricultural internship program, where we invite interns to Israel for 11 months. Traditionally, we used to bring about 500 Filipinos every year to Israel. Last year, we increased the number to 700. It's done in partnership here in the Philippines with TESDA, so vocational training. The issue is what happens with those interns when they come back to the Philippines, because TESDA is doing the focusing on the training. But the reintegration, when they come, how do we make their reintegration effective and not looking and suddenly you find them either as salespersons in different shops, or some of them would go out as OFWs. So we established now a partnership between AgroStudies, the Israeli entity which is implementing the program, together with the DILG. So we can connect the local government, which has their own programs in the provinces or in the cities or in the local municipalities, and they can send representatives of their teams or the teams of the cooperatives in that area, for example, to go to Israel, and then they come back. So there is a reintegration. And secondly, and this is only 2 weeks ago, we signed an agreement with the Department of Agriculture, with the Agricultural Training Institute, the ATI, where this year in October we'll have 50 interns going from ATI to this program and then coming back to ATI. So what we're actually doing is making a full package where we have TESDA, we have DILG, we have Department of Agriculture, and sending 700 interns to Israel, 11 months. Then when they come back, they can really contribute to the agricultural sector and bring a different approach, the approach that we're implementing in Israel. You might know that Israel is a dryland country. 50% of Israel is actually a desert. Now, when we started to build Israel, one of the most important things for us to do was to make sure we have enough food security. And we had to innovate. We had to create new technologies and new approaches in order to make sure that we survive, because we're a small country surrounded by countries that are not so friendly. So, for an example, drip irrigation is an Israeli invention coming from a kibbutz. The cherry tomatoes, the very small tomatoes, came from Israel, Israeli invention. And from there it led to the small cucumbers, but this is just a few examples. Today, in Israeli farming, you could find sensors that measure the conditions of each tree, fruit tree, to know exactly what is happening in the tree and what is lacking, nutrition, water, or if it has sex or disease. So you're monitoring, everything is about combination of science, understanding what are the needs, of technology to understand what's happening on the ground or in the roots, and addressing it. That's science or scientific approach or a commercial approach. We cannot continue to do things as we did before because the world is changing, the market is changing, the needs are changing, and the population is growing, and we need to produce more in order to be able to make sure that everybody has food on its plate.
Food security in the Philippines is not just a growing concern, but is already an emergency situation according to field experts. The government is extending its efforts to address the issue, such as working with the country's international allies.
This is why we invite 700. I mean, the Philippines is actually the biggest country participating in this program is the Philippines, 700 Filipinos, and the idea is really to help, and we're not looking at Metro Manila. Agriculture is not Metro Manila. It is helping in the different provinces where you have agriculture, which is most of the country. Of course, Israel cannot contribute a lot in the rice farming. But when you talk about high-value crops, about fruit trees, about vegetables, about nurseries, dairy.
The ambassador also welcomed the involvement of the private sector in helping to address the issues with trade and agriculture.
I talked about the two angles. From one side, private sector, on the other hand, government. So absolutely the answer is yes. And we are assisting Israeli private companies to come into the Philippine market. There is a strategic partnership between the Metro Pacific Group and an Israeli agricultural company, and they went into this partnership focusing on dairy farming and on vegetable production in greenhouses. One dairy farm is already in the process of establishment of building in Laguna, and dairy production in Bulacan. And of course, we are trying to assist not only in introductions, but also in giving some trainings to people who are involved in order to help in the knowledge and the understanding. And we have a few more examples of we're bringing also trade delegations. We had last year a delegation of Israeli agro companies who visited the Philippines, and we had interactions both with government, but also we had a business seminar with the private sector.
It's interesting to note the observations and suggestions raised by diplomats like the Israeli ambassador when it comes to local agriculture. The envoy shared his insights on what can be done to resolve the issues within the sector.
It's not enough to have pure research. You have to have also the research which is connected, applied research, which is connected to the production of the farmers. Of course, we can talk a lot about the connectivity, the challenge of the Philippines being an island country, and Israel is actually one entity, one unit. But for us, on the other side, we have borders. We are like an island economy, because our main trading partners is Europe and North America. Not talking about agriculture, but generally speaking as an economy. And now I hope looking more towards Philippines as a very interesting market and a partner. So I think it's about changing a mindset, but when you change a mindset, you have to change a lot of things. So, and this is a challenge that I think has to be done. And I'm meeting the leadership here. I'm offering the Israeli collaborations also between universities now. By the way, I'm also talking to some Israeli universities to have more collaboration with universities in the Philippines. And we used to have in the past much more, and we're trying to start once again.
During his visit, the ambassador was able to tackle the tensions in the region, assuring would-be tourists about the safety of visiting Israel.
Terrorism is a global issue. Israel is on the front line and is really fighting terrorism, and it can hit everywhere. Secondly, I can tell you last year we had thousands of Filipinos who have visited Israel. Nothing in the news, they were never attacked. They are not the targets of the terrorists. The experience is that tourists do not suffer from terrorism in Israel. The Israeli Defense Forces, the IDF, is the most powerful, sophisticated, modern army which is using so many technologies and methods in order to protect not only Israelis, to protect people who are in Israel. And we are taking care of the people in Israel. We are taking care of everybody in Israel, and there is no, even during the war, there is no discrimination between Israelis and non-Israelis.
Looking into the future of Israel and the Philippines, the ambassador had this to say.
We have a long history of close friendship and partnership from the 1930s when President Quezon, opened the Philippines for the Jewish refugees trying to escape the Nazis in Europe, and most countries closed the doors. If it is 1947, the only country in Asia who voted in support of the establishment of the Jewish state of Israel. Typhoon Yolanda in 2013, Israel brought over the field hospital and the first teams on the ground and search and rescue teams. We're always here because there is this very strong affiliation, partnership and friendship. So I believe the future is in the innovation and technology in addressing the current challenges together here in the Philippines.
Ambassador Flus was then given a tour of the headquarters of Net25 in Quezon City. He was able to see the technologies being used by the network to broadcast all over the country and stream its programs worldwide through online platforms. The diplomatic ties between Israel and the Philippines remain strong. With the current economic issues faced by both nations, it can be said that the approaches and measures being taken are productive, beneficial, and collaborative. It is proof that despite the challenges, the two nations remain to be open for business.
Nawala kay Jana ang lahat. Pero sa tulong ni David, malalagpasan ba niya ang challenges ng business world? Rising with the Wind. Simula February 17, 7:30 p.m. Dito lang sa Net25.
Let's get together sa Net25. Sa Net25.
Congratulations to all the awardees. Leadership awards are not just the recognition of outstanding achievements, but also the power of vision, collaboration, and resilience in driving industries forward. As entrepreneurs, it is easy to get caught up with our day-to-day challenges and set aside the vision for your future growth. May these outstanding men and women inspire you to become remarkable entrepreneurs and be bold in taking bigger steps that will propel you to success. And with that, our quote for the week is, Disruptors don't have to discover something new. They just have to discover a practical use for new discoveries. That's from American author Jay Samit. Maraming salamat sa isang oras na pagsama sa amin upang tunghayan ng isang makabuluhang usapan ukol sa negosyo dito lang sa Open for Business. Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan nyo kaming muli dito sa Open for Business. Catch us too on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe on our social media page at Net25 TV. We will bring you more insights from industry experts, thought leaders, CEOs, and featured SMEs. Together, let us help encourage business development in the Philippines. Sharpen your business acumen, feel the pulse, and set the trend for as long as you are informed and open for business. Ito po si 𝗕𝗏𝗏. Marami pong salamat.